What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. In today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be going over 7 business secrets the Liver King taught us before he was exposed. I'm joined with a special guest. I got AP with me. Aaron, how's it going, man?
What's up, brother?
Good, man. Good. Me and Aaron were just talking back and forth. We're actually going to do a video on something completely different, but since in light of everything that's going on with the Liver King and kind of the debacle with regards to whether or not he's on drugs or not, we decided that this would be a cool kind of concept to kind of break down 7 selling secrets that he kind of, utilized in order to make hundreds of millions of dollars. So in today's video, we're going to run through all those different selling secrets. Before we get into that, though, if you guys are looking to start your pressure washing business and take it from zero to over $7,000 a month, check the first link in the comment section and the description. That is going to be a link to the local domination course. In that one, you guys are going to get my Facebook ad strategy. You guys are going to get Aaron's web content strategy, as well as chemical compounds that'll multiply your average ticket price, equipment walkthroughs, job walkthroughs, all kind of different stuff. So if you're looking to scale your business 0 to 7,000, check it out. First link in the comment section and the description. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this one. So first and foremost, Aaron, 7 business secrets. The first thing that Liver King did really well that I think we can kind of take note of, and not all these will be applicable to a service business, but I think there's angles that we can take from it. So first thing he did was he leveraged video for relevance. So let's kind of speak on, he was consistent with it. He did a good job of, shedding light on things that we don't see every day. Speak to, Aaron, how we can use video for relevance in our own business, as well as how Liver King did it in order to build his brand.
Sure. So Liver King has like a team essentially who's making all of these videos and filming them and doing all this stuff, which is great. He has the money to pay for that. But nowadays, it's great that we got these nice little cell phones. The new iPhones got crazy video, and it's very easy for a service business to produce a lot of content really fast. So, and they don't have to be like long form content. I think some guys get caught up in the idea, sometimes I do, on that, man, I got to make a 10-20 minute video or something like that. It's like, no, it's the 20-second, 30-second shorts of satisfying content with your brand on it. That stuff really does go a long way. And, maintaining your Instagram, posting the same stuff on your Instagram that you're posting on your Facebook. I don't think you need to have a completely separate brand or completely separate videos for a service business anyway. If you're running an Instagram for that, or if you're running a Facebook page, you can do the same videos. So it's just more about being consistent.
Absolutely. Somebody commented, Liver King is a millionaire making supplements. He absolutely is. 7 selling secrets. So the first one, was leverage video for relevance. I think that he did a really good job of finding something that was different, right? No one was eating liver. No one was kind of doing these like Fear Factor-esque things that no one had ever seen before. There was a bit of shock factor in there. If you guys want to recreate that within your service business, the best way that we can do that is with satisfying content, kind of how Aaron mentioned, and especially with regards to niche services that a lot of people might not know even exist. Like, for instance, dryer vent cleaning, or like we utilize parking lot striping. Those are things that, out of sight, out of mind, and something that might catch somebody's eye and allow you to sell your services to those kind of people. So first and foremost, leverage video for relevance is something that we can utilize within our service business. The other one, or the next one, number 2, is sell by entertaining instead of actually pitching. So if you'll notice, like, Liver King did a great job of building his brand and not necessarily selling outright, but like in a lot of his shorts, when he was showing the food he was eating, he had his protein powder there. He had his liver pills. He would show the liver and all the different little body parts that he had and say, if you can't buy this, this is the next best thing. And it was his product. So Aaron, kind of speak to selling as entertainment rather than coming out and saying, hey, you should buy my product.
Sure. And that I'm a fan of both, but right. I'm a fan of coming out and saying it. But Liver King did it in a way where he built his entire marketing plan around I think the 7 ancestral tenets. And it was this ideology of what he believed, this nose to tail on how we eat, going back to almost this ancient Viking kind of tribal culture, if you will, and how he looked, the shock value in that from his beard and, from how he's built, how he's jacked. He looks like a guy who comes off of a boat with a giant sword and shield, and is chopping people up. And it's like, okay, so he's pushing out this shock value of eating these organs, and that frankly a lot of people probably here watching right now throw away, right? Who is out there just randomly eating bull balls on a Tuesday, and liver and all this stuff? So there was massive shock value in that. But I think that was how he really anchored the public, is creating the 7 ancestral tenets. That was the ideology for, if you want to have the optimal health, right, quote unquote, then you need to follow this ideology, and this is what it is. Take a stand.
Absolutely. So sell by being entertaining instead of selling outright, obviously, like you mentioned, sell both ways. Okay. So sell by being outlandish. You can also, this kind of ties into finding those different niches and using video to sell. So we can use that as the entertainment to captivate the audience, right? To bring the audience in, to get eyeballs. And ultimately, one of the bigger lessons that Liver King taught us is the more eyeballs that we can get on our products, ultimately, the more we can sell. So Aaron, kind of speak to the importance of getting as many eyes on your service as possible, because those eyes ultimately convert into customers at the end of the day.
So a lot of people want to know, like, what is the value of having a satisfying video go viral on TikTok for local business? Well, frankly, probably not much, right? But it doesn't mean that the content is bad, right? It doesn't mean, it's probably really great content because it's been tested by the world. Okay. So what we want to focus on is, how do we get local landmarks, things that your area knows really well, in these videos, right? How are they your face, your company, your name, your number, cleaning these local landmarks that everyone knows where they are, whether it's the town square, or whether it, like I was saying in Tuscaloosa, if it's like Denny Chimes or Baton Rouge, some Tiger Stadium, or there's probably an ancient bar somewhere in Baton Rouge that's like 200 years old or something, that everyone knows where it is. That's what you're going to have to do to kind of anchor and leverage those eyes that you do get locally, because you need to tie it back to something that's familiar. Okay. I think a lot of guys, they'll pump out videos, and it's a driveway, and it's good, satisfying content. But the problem is the public doesn't know if this video is from right up the street, and they can take advantage of that person's service, or it's around the world, somebody in Australia or something like that who's cleaning. They have no idea. So you got to anchor back into the familiar when it comes to your video.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent, Aaron. And you mentioned you kind of frame yourself as the hero, especially if you can put yourself in a situation where you're, washing something that's an eyesore for the community. You're leveraging something that the community all knows about, as well as you're making yourself the hero, which is what Liver King did. He leveraged something that we all knew that was kind of gross, right? Eating animal parts. And he leveraged himself and his body as what you could attain by eating these parts. So
I'm going to give you a tip here real quick on this. So say you got a local eyesore that everybody's aware of, right? And you really need to figure out how you're going to shoot the video. Okay. So they can't just see this one spot, that say you're going to clean some graffiti off of a local monument or something like that. It's probably not going to stay there long. So if you see it, you need to get on it and start cleaning it and film it. Okay. Take advantage of it. But what you want to do is, you want to position it as the hero, right? Position yourself as the hero and say, local vandals deface blank monument. We decided to take care of it, right? And what you do is you film this little video, and it's probably like 3 minutes long, and it's you cleaning this beloved area, this beloved statue, this beloved spot in your town. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that exact video, and you're going to post this video as an article. Okay. As an article. I'm going to give away some good shit here. You're going to put this video on, you could do it 2 ways. You could either put it as a blog on your website, as a project page, and use the shock value of local vandals, right? Deface this, so we cleaned it. Or you could just post it natively to Facebook, and then post it into all of these local Facebook groups. Now, you and I both know, Justin, one of the problems with Facebook groups and marketing is there's always some Nazi in there who's like trying to take your stuff down, right? Every time you post it, they're trying to like delete it. No promotions or no, advertising your business. But who takes down a guy who is saving the statue, who is saving the local courtyard patio, nice park area from the evil vandals? No one, not even the worst Karen, takes down that video. So these types of videos get shared a lot. They get viral, at least in the community, which may be only a couple thousand views, but it's still so valuable to have your face, your company, your trucks cleaning that and have it go organically throughout the public in your local area.
Right. One thing I want to add on to this, Aaron, Gary Halbert used to have this. He said, marketing framed as a news article does like 500% better with regards to engagement, people that click on it, people that actually read it. So if you're able to perform something like this, just furthering Aaron's point, and turn it into a news article, you can almost make yourself go semi-viral. You can put money behind that. You can get eyes on it, and you can make it seem as if, bigger than what it is by pushing money behind it. And those kind of ads, like Gary Halbert said, do 500% better than just traditional ads selling. So,
and you don't post it, dude. You have your aunt post it.
right.
Right. Like your business page doesn't say, "Hey, look at me." It's all the way down to that level, right? You have your aunt who's like, smiling in her Facebook, you know what I mean? Like this woman, they don't even know she's connected to you. Right.
Right.
But that's the key, is where does the source come from? Does it feel organic? There's a lot of ways to kind of manipulate press in that way. But you're exactly right.
But at the end of the day, find that cornerstone, find the local thing that everybody knows of, make it bigger than what it is. It's kind of what Liver King did, and he framed himself as the hero. Framing yourself as the hero is going to help you guys out a lot. Next one, number 4, everything was on brand for Liver King. So as Aaron alluded to earlier, right, the beard, he had the chiseled body, Viking. He always wore the headdress. He never wore a shirt anywhere. Everything that he did, everything that he said, his ancestral tenets, everything was on brand. So Aaron, how does that attribute to him ultimately being able to sell when everything's cohesive?
Well, I think people are always looking for something that's not cohesive. They're always looking for that. One of these things is not like the other kind of thought. People are really good at those games. And so you have to keep your brand cohesive. I think for local service businesses, it's more about the before and after and the results of what you can deliver. And then when they call you, it's how fast and how accurate and what kind of a deal are they getting. I think price usually is like third place, but it's the first, probably how fast do you get back to these people. So you can't really leverage, okay, for here's an instance. I'm going to correct myself mid stride. There's one company that I've seen that was really smart, and they have this bubble truck. Okay. And it's just a truck. It's a normal truck with a bubble machine on top of it. And I think it's called like Mr. Bubbles. And I always thought this was really cool. The guy basically, he'll put his truck in the local parades. He'll drive his truck through downtown, and this truck is just blowing bubbles out. I'm talking about, he's got like a pro bubble machine on this thing. So like you cannot not look at it. And another beautiful thing about bubbles is kids love bubbles. And who is walking around with the kids? Moms. And who buys pressure washing? Moms. All right. Because they want the house to be clean. So he had dialed this in for the bubble truck. And that's one thing that it's almost like a Liver King, where it's the beard and it's the shield and it's like he's jacked. Well, if bubbles are floating up and down the street, and I'm talking about a lot of bubbles, you can't not look. And that's another one of the beauties of Liver King, is that you can't not look at the guy. You got to look at, you're like, what the hell? This dude looks like a damn, he's a real Viking. It's like almost something you would see at Disney World or something. So giving that, I can't look away, that train wreck kind of thing, like I got to look at it, is the most valuable when it comes to this point.
Right. It's a spectacle that people want to see, basically. Number 5, take a firm stance and then tie everything back into that. So Liver King took a firm stance on this kind of ties into everything was on brand, but with as far as his ancestral tenets, as far as the way that he lived his life, he took a firm stance on what he believed to be the best way of living. His body was a reflection of that, and he tied everything back into what that was. So for a service-based business, Aaron, how can we kind of emulate this? Maybe we could stand strong behind like the things that we believe with regards to soft washing is the best, the way we do our job is the best. What do you think?
Sure. I think it's very interesting for a service business when it comes to this point because what is your stance? What is your stand? Well, yeah, everybody stands for quality. Okay. So everybody would say that. Are you fast? Right. Like Domino's Pizza made their big stand on it's free if it's not 30 minutes or less. So some people in our industry would like to leverage that and be the fastest. Like we will get you a 30-second quote or something like that. And they use a software to do that. Right. There's a few ways to kind of stay and polarize yourself into a place where you can take a stand on what you are and what you're not. The issue with it is that it's like how many satisfying footages can everyone put out, because pressure washing is a lot that way, right? When you're everybody can kind of, if they know how to clean, they know how to use chemicals, they can get a very similar result. It's just like, how do we polarize to a point where we're like, hey, I'm the guy who's not going to destroy your back patio, like I'm the guy who's not going to destroy your stuff. Really, that's the top pressure washing company at the end of the day. It's like, who do I trust to be in my backyard?
Right. So maybe it's having, the courage to stand on the fact that you offer the best service, right? To maybe sell against your competitors like they might do a bad job, or I don't even know. Just
Yeah, the
knowing that you
polarity
provide
would
the
be,
best service.
I think the polarity would be like being willing to walk away. Maybe it's that subtle, right? Like maybe it's like,
So that's my next one. That's number 6.
okay.
Or that's number 6 is be polarizing, right? I think maybe taking a firm stance from the point of view that you are willing to, die on your sword. This is the best way to do things, and you tie everything into that as far as how you run your business. Being polarizing, I think I agree with you, Aaron. Being able to walk away from the customer and saying, I don't need this job. And that's ultimately what that reverse psychology ultimately gets you more jobs, right?
Totally, like with a smile. And I think a lot of guys walk away from these jobs kind of with like a malice view. You know what I mean? They're like, "Ha, you're
Right.
not going to take advantage of me." And it's like, what if you just talk to these people like just matter of fact? Yeah, man, no, I know there's a lot of people out there who are much cheaper, like a lot less experienced than we are, and but we have our price and that's what it is. You want to schedule for Tuesday? And they're like, no. It's like, well, all right, I hope you have a great day. And you just like always have a smile on your face. I think that is the most secure, abundant mindset that frankly is polarizing to the market, because there's so many guys out there pressure washing or in service businesses who just for 3 days, 4 days, they'll be talking about somebody who told them they were too expensive. You know what I mean? It like mentally affects them like big time. And they're talking to the wife about it, talking to the buddies about it. They're on in the Facebook groups talking about it. It's like, nah, man, just easy come, easy go, as George Strait says, man. Just, hey, let them know your price. Let a pleasant polarity. Maybe that's the angle, is like they're so confident in what they do that he's willing to walk away from me when I tried to negotiate the price, and he's still happy about the situation. He's not even offended. Like he didn't even take it personal. There's some subtle psychology going on there that like a lot of customers will feel, and they're like, well, these must be the people. All right, I want them to do my house.
Right. Let your non-attachment to outcome be the thing that ultimately polarizes you, right, Aaron?
Completely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, dude, this is higher level stuff than like what we typically talk about on the channel. We're usually talking about put out your yard signs, make sure they got your number on the front of it. As far as being polarizing with regards to that non-attachment, that is huge, because a lot of guys get stuck in this, like, I need this, I need this, I need this. You get that big eye syndrome whenever you get, a Burger King call. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the person who is the least attached to outcome usually will get the outcome that they desire, right?
Even if it's not in that moment, right? I think you have to detach from the exact moment or from that segment, that job, right? It's more about like, what is the outcome you want in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years? Like, and what is the attitude that I need to embody to get that result in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, right? Like
Because that's
that's
what
really
ultimately cultivates that abundance, right?
totally. You almost like when you don't have the abundance, you have to like trick yourself into being abundant. It's almost like you're pleasantly you just I don't have another way of saying it. It's kind of it's a little bit like I'm worth it. Like I'm a little cocky about it, but I'm not off-putting to the customer. Like it's got nothing personally to do with them. It's just like when I was broke, I had to believe in myself more than the customer did, and I had to like position myself in my own mind that I was like, I'm not going into this $100 land. You know, I'm not going into the $200 house wash land. I deserve more. I deserve more and I can get more. And I'm going to prove to myself that I can. So for those guys who aren't quite there yet and don't have $20,000 jobs coming through the tank that you can just, you're the big dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's different getting there. So you have to kind of trick yourself at first.
Right. Like Mr. Tidy Garden says that he hit 6 figures this year for the first time. Like, how do you hit six figures? You backwards engineer what you need to do to make 6 figures, and then you proceed as if you're already making 6 figures, right? You live as if until you live as if it is, right?
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, you have to kind of walk like it until it happens. And that's one thing that it's very hard. It's for a lot of country guys like where I grew up, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like they're living a lie and they can't stomach it. But here's the truth. The big lie is how broke your ass is. That's the big lie. Okay. And that's that's sad. But you have to figure out a way to manipulate your own mind into believing that you're worth more than you've ever been told, than your job has ever led you to believe. You were making $20 an hour at this place, and now you're over here thinking somehow you're confident enough. And this is what these people would say, that you're going to make $500 in a day or $1,000, $2,000 in a day. And when your whole family and no one has ever made that type of money. Yes. So yes, it is a matrix mind game early. Okay. This is the gold. Take this with you because you're going to fool yourself into believing that you are worth it. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you, there's not much difference in $100 day and $2,000 day when it comes to it's just a piece of paper and it's pixels on a screen. All right. That's all it is. It's not even like, it's not even real. You see what I'm saying? It's pixels. It's like little zeros on a screen on your bank app. You know what I mean? So once you figure out how fluid money is, you can trick yourself and say, you know what, damn it, I'm worth that, dude. I'm worth $2,000 a day. I'm worth this shit. And you got to eventually get to that place where you believe it so much and you walk like it so much and you market like that, like you market like you're worth that. That's another thing. You got to put your money where your mouth is. But eventually what happens is you start manifesting it and those jobs start becoming attracted to you. Like I was doing the Mercedes-Benz dealership here for years. And it's just like the dude just he felt like I was a part of the Mercedes family. And that's what he told me. He's like, dude, I love the work y'all do. I love how, how professional you are, how much you know about chemicals, because we got a lot of nice cars, a lot of expensive stuff around here. And it's like how you walk influences the persuasion, how much you believe in yourself. People feel it. So,
right. So as far as this business secret, become polarizing to the extent that you don't walk like everybody else walks. You are the opposite. You don't sweat the jobs you lost. You don't, get the googly eyes. Be polarizing. Have that non-attachment to outcome. We need to do a whole live, Aaron, on how to make $100,000 a year and go into the psychology of that $100,000 because I think that would be pretty cool, man. Let's get into number 7. The last business secret that we're going to tell you guys about is create word of mouth. So the Liver King did this specifically through controversy, and he did it very well. Whether it was intended or non-intended, there was a ton of stir about whether or not he was actually on steroids or whether he wasn't. And all of that controversy built up so much word of mouth that I think it just exploded his brand. So, Aaron, how can we kind of create word of mouth in a similar way?
well, you know how I feel about it. I I don't believe a guy has to tell you that he's on steroids. I don't think that's your business, but I also don't believe, and we've talked about this before, Justin, that the guy never said that, hey, if you eat like me, you're going to get as ripped as me. Like, he's never said that. And that would be kind of like going back to an attorney situation. I know his attorney advised him, you never, ever say that. So a lot of people in this game of fitness were on this witch hunt of trying to figure out if he was on steroids or not. Well, it turns out I already knew he was the whole time. Like, if you know enough guys who do gear, you know what that looks like, and there's no way of getting around it. You're not this fraction of a 1% genetics and looking like that. So I think I support the fact that he was doing on his gear, doing his thing, and I also support the fact that it's no one else's business. So I think it's kind of cucky that a lot of these YouTubers were on like this high horse of trying to figure it out. I just don't believe in that. But I think that's one way that he created a lot of that controversy. Everyone always wants to know, was Arnold on steroids? Yes, but everyone also gave him a pass. Justin, like, if you notice, the whole YouTube fitness world was trying to roast him for being on steroids. Like, so, like, Arnold, everyone who you like in bodybuilding was on steroids. Like, facts, all right? And there's a very few group of guys who are natty, and even those are questionable, okay? But if they're in bodybuilding, they're probably on gear, and if they look like that, there's a definite HGH situation going on with that type of growth. Normal humans don't get that. So that's the polarity. The polarity is creating this mysticism around your body, creating this mysticism about like, oh, he's on gear and he's not saying it. And I don't know why the whole YouTube world kind of fell into this like goose chase of figuring it out. It's almost kind of cucky. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, let the dude do what he's doing. Build your own supplement company. Don't worry about him. You know what I mean? Because he never said, hey, if you eat my stuff like this, then you're going to get as ripped as me. He just he was a lot of times talking about just how healthy eating organs and eating nose to tail was. And it very much is. So that's where I stand on the whole Liver King thing, dude. So
beautiful, beautiful. But he created the word of mouth. That was the biggest thing. He created it through controversy. So obviously, I wouldn't cause a bunch of controversy in your service business, but find a way to create that word of mouth somehow. And you can use, that viral marketing like we talked about before. Clean the dirty building in your area that's an eyesore for everybody. And
totally. And have people who aren't you share it into Facebook groups. These are like little subtle things that I'm telling you, but they're going to go a long way. Like, if your face is cleaning something that the local public knows about, and your trucks and your number, and you are positioned as the savior, as the people who are saving it from the nasty grease. I mean, you can even make shit up. The vandals who, if it's graffiti, it's vandals all the time, right? But it's like, saving the local,
elementary school from
like Mama Goldberg's or something in Auburn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're cleaning Mama Goldberg, saving him from built up grease. And it's a funny title. You know what I mean? People click on that and they see your stuff and they know Mama Goldberg's. And so they make this triangle of this connection to local business, cleaning a landmark. Okay, they must be the people. And you got to do that a lot. You need to be seen a lot. And Liver King did that really well. He was always making content, always just like pulling sleds up the road and swimming and wearing crazy headdresses and, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So you got to put out a lot of content. You got to keep being in the public eye. But I think that's the best way to do it with a service business, is figure out how to get around landmarks, how to position the titles of your videos to where they're very clickable, a little more of clickbaity, if you will. Like, that's good. And then your business does not need to be the one who is sharing it into these local Facebook groups. You need to have an aunt, uncle, a wife, a girlfriend or something. That's like, you got a pretty blonde girlfriend. It's like, she's definitely not the one doing this pressure washing. Okay. So it comes off as a little more credible and a little less of what would you call it? Like self-promotion, right? That's the key. You want it to come off organic.
Right. Aaron, as far as what do you think about, like, as far as service businesses go, there's usually no face. What do you think about having a strong face tied to a service business as far as branding goes?
I think it's the best thing you can do. I think a guy figuring out a way to get himself on camera. It doesn't matter if you're a good speaker. The beauty is if you keep being consistent and you're not a good speaker, you not being a good speaker will be part of the brand. You almost like can't fail. And it's good. Like the fact, and I mean that in a good way. It's part of the brand. Like there's guys out there who have speech impediments, but you like know the brand for him having a speech impediment, and he's funny about it, right? He makes fun of himself, or he has like a stutter, but he's like, oh, there we go, stuttering again. And it's part of the brand. And so it's endearing. You see what I mean? Like, so if you're not good with camera, or you haven't done a whole lot, don't worry about it, man. No one's like, frankly, no one cares, right? No one cares how you look, what you talk like. It's Reggie Bryce, my boy, in the comments.
Come
All
on,
right.
Reggie.
So don't worry about that, man. Just get in front of the camera, put your smiling face on camera, and eventually people will start saying, hey, I've seen this dude. Oh, this is the same guy who cleaned Denny Chimes. This is the same guy who cleaned Baton Rouge Stadium. And eventually they start making a connection. I think the problem is that guys don't stay consistent enough, long enough with their face. Even if it's stupid, you could be cheesy as hell. Like
The cheesier, the better.
The cheesier, the better. If you're going to go in that direction, be cheesy as shit. All right. Like I'm talking about people are like, dude, this guy's cheesy. But like eventually they start seeing you and they're like, dadgum, that's the company, this guy. And it's like, hell, he looks good at what he does. He's a good, let's call them. You know what I mean? So you're building this brand. You're able to kind of, what is it, like Logan Paul and them used to do this thing where it was very early on in this, before my son started doing it. They started saying this yeet, or they started dabbing. They were just dabbing on everything. And it was like, it became like what they did. And you may think it's stupid, doesn't matter. The public started knowing them for saying these little kitschy words. Or Grant Cardone, man, he's like, hey man, come on, man. You got to get your money right, man. Get your money right, man. What are you doing? Hey, so if I'm gonna sell you a yacht, hey, how would you know you don't like boats, man? How would you know? You can't afford it. How would you know if you can't afford it, man? How do you know? Hey, you say I don't like planes, man. How you gonna know if you can't even afford it, man? Like he has all these little kitschy things that he says. So if you're making video, implement some of these things that you say every single time. Similar to Liver King, the 7 ancestral tenets. Like if you watch him enough, you know what he's standing for. What's up, primals? Like that's his thing, right? What's up, primals? So
primal.
Yeah, primal, like he's got this thing going on. So get you a little thing that you say every time, right? This is all part of it, because you can't think in terms of this video. You got to think in terms of what are all these little movements going to add up to video 100, right? If I do this enough, it's all going to be a cohesive brand down the line,
Right. At the end of the day, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And that's another one of Liver King's secrets. He stayed in front of us. He was top of mind. He said things that we can repeat back, right? Primal, subprimal, that's stuck in our mind. So Liver King had a bunch of selling secrets. You guys, I hope y'all enjoy this one. Let's run through them real quick. First and foremost, leverage video for relevance. If you're not making videos within your service business or whatever business you're in, you're losing out on a huge market share. Find something different. For us in the service industry, we can capitalize on, niche services. We can capitalize on satisfying content and be consistent with that content. You also want to sell by entertaining instead of, just running ads on like pressure washing special. Captivate the audience with that satisfying content up front. Another one, eyeballs equal sales. The more people that we can get in front of, ultimately the more business that we're going to do. We want to leverage something that's obscure and frame ourselves as the hero, right? Eat head to tail, become, buy king, right? Clean Denny's. You're now the hero of your local town. Next, everything's on brand, right? From the beard, the body, chiseled, primal, subprimal. Take a firm stance and tie everything into that. You are the best. Be polarizing. Be polarizing by having a non-attachment to outcome, being the opposite of what people typically expect when they deal with service providers. And lastly, create word of mouth, whether you do that through controversy, whether you do that through capitalizing on, local events. You want to be the talk of the town, right? And those are the Liver King's business secrets. When we lay them out like that, Aaron, it sounds like he's a dang, genius.
Well, he is a genius. Like, people should take note on that. And I'm not saying that. I mean, Garth Brooks was a genius, right? Like, there's a lot of people to look at out there who are really, really good at building brands, and it's not about taking over the world. It's about taking over a niche. Okay, and if you think about it like that it's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. But you got to keep taking bites off of that into your market and pumping really potent content. It always has your little, like, Wiki D main says, your own personal jingle, right? Like, that's exactly what it is. And it doesn't have to be a song. It's just something that you say all the time that you're always coming back to every single time. We have some guys in the inner circle who have their own little jingles on their group, on their videos that they post. What's up, guys? OG down here in Georgia. Like, he's got his little saying that he says every single time he makes a video. Shout out to OG. But that will give people some familiarity tied into the landmarks that you're cleaning, tied into these local areas that they can say, hey, I know that guy. Hey, I've seen that video before. Hey, I've seen that truck. I've seen that truck somewhere up the street or at the mall, or someday, you're just with your family. You got to connect the dots for these people. Like Justin says, people buy from people who they trust and they've seen before and they like. And if you're always kind of upbeat in your video and you're always cleaning, it's always looking good, man. Now it just comes down to the point. I'm gonna give you the secret and we're gonna jump off here. Is that you got to post more often. You got to post so much that you feel like you're annoying people. That's the secret. It's very similar with email. Like, you have this knee-jerk reaction that you're like, I think they're going to get tired of me. And then you post it again because that's how much marketing, how much volume you actually have to put out. It doesn't have to be new videos all the time. Maybe it's just like posting the same video in a million places and then doing another one and posting a million places. But you have to be like, all right, I posted this 10 places. I should probably stop. No, stop. You're stupid. Don't do that. Post it 30 places. Post it 100 places. You see what I'm saying? You got to go way beyond what your current expectation or current limit is for thinking that you're annoying people or that you're in too many people's face. You can't be in enough people's face when it comes to your marketing message.
Right. You need massive action. And that's one thing that, we see these guys that have these meteoric rises like Liver King, and we think it happened overnight. It didn't. I remember seeing Liver King when he had, under 100,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram. And now he's got like 1.8 million. But when you stay consistent and you put together these pieces like we've described to you in this video, you are going to be able to compound what you'd be able to do otherwise if you hadn't done it. So, Aaron, this was great, man. Every guest that comes onto the channel has to pick the word of the day. What do you want the word of the day to be, man?
Word of the day is gear, baby.
Word of the day is gear. If you guys made this far in the video, comment down below gear, and I'll hashtag you a real one. We'll let you guys know if you haven't checked out the 0 to 7K course. What are you waiting on? Check it out first link in the comment section description. If you want to be in on more conversations like this, check out the Inner Circle as well. We have bi-weekly coaching calls where we go really in depth and we go into everybody's marketing. We really kind of dial in on what's working within the service industry. So check that out if you guys haven't already. My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. And until next time, hustle hard. Get that money, baby. Peace.